when I was growing up, if somebody had a projector, they must be really rich because the only other place you'd find a movie projector is in the theater, right? Well, nowadays that's not the case. They're so much more affordable and much more accessible, and they've got so much more smart. This is the Vankyo H500R projector with Roku built in. So it's just like your smart TV or Roku stick, but in a projector. It's pretty cool. Stick around. Hi, I'm Chris with Gadgets and Gravel. I was sent this for testing and review purposes. However, no companies or PR agencies or anybody will get any input on this video or get to see it before you, so it's new for everybody all at the same time. So that out of the way, this is the Vankyo H500R Smart Projector with Roku built into it. It's a pretty interesting system. It's got everything you would expect to have from a Roku device. You get the same remote, everything you expect on the remote. It has all the same systems. So you load it up. If you've used any Roku device before, it's going to be very familiar to you because everything is the same with this. The only difference is in the settings, you're going to have something to adjust the picture and the projection option. Other than that, it's all the same. So it's kind of cool. So you get that set up in here. With this projector, we have got a 330 lumens lamp inside of this. We're working with a 1500 to 1 contrast ratio, and you've got a range of about 40 to 150 inches of your screen. So you got a wide range. Now, this is not an ultra short throw projector or necessarily a short throw projector, and I'm going to show you a little bit later kind of what you can expect to get out of it at different distances. Well, at the distance I have it set up at, which is about 12 feet to get a 100-foot screen. So that's kind of about the distance that I'm working with. So it gives you an idea of what you can expect. Outside of that, we've got dual 5-watt speakers in this with Dolby Atmos certification for that. Now, they're good speakers. They're not going to blow you away or anything like that, but they are good speakers. So if you just want to set this up in a room to watch a movie with kids or meetings, or you could even set this up and have the speakers in this act as the dedicated speaker for your movies if you would like. You're going to get a lot more if you plug something up to the back of it, or we've got different ports. So we do have an HDMI port, so you can plug in different devices to it, whether that's a video game console or you're connected to a sound system, and it does have CEC control. So you can connect this to your sound system and then control everything through it using the single remote like you would if you plugged up to your TV. So it's a really nice option there. We have the IR port for control, remote control access. We have an audio and a USB port and our power button, and your power cord plug in right there. It's a nice looking projector. It's all black. We got a little kind of a yellowish, orangish color around the ring around the lights, kind of some fabric covering the bottom where the speakers come out. You got your Dolby audio marker there. You got branding across the front of the Vankyo and Roku TV there. And we got a nice little point there, which helps use it for Auto-Keystone and Auto-Focus features. And then on the bottom, we've got a little flip out, little stand, kind of prop it up and give you a little bit of an angle, as well as a 1/4-inch thread on the bottom for putting it onto some kind of stand. Speaking on the Auto-Keystone feature, so while this does have that ability, as does the XGODY X6 Pro that I previously reviewed on the site. I'll put a link for that around here. Check it out if you're interested in that. That one runs a custom operating system called Whale OS, which still gives you access to all the apps you would expect, like Netflix and Prime Video and Hulu and all that good stuff. So that's another option. But this one has the Auto-Focus and Auto-Keystone options just like that other projector does. However, I haven't had as good of luck with this model. Autofocus is pretty solid, and I talk a little bit about this when we look at the projector options and kind of what that means. But the Auto-Keystone has been a little hit and miss for me, and I'll cover more about that a little bit later. So that is a feature you get with this projector. Outside of that, that's the design. It's a simple setup. It's easy. It's a lightweight design. It's nothing heavy. It's easy to kind of put into a bag and travel with it and plug it up, and everything is hooked up to the internet, and you're good to go. Nice, easy options there, and that's the design. So now let's cover a little bit what it's like to use the thing. All right, so when we talk about performance of the Vankyo H500R, this is what we got. So this is projecting from about 12 feet away onto a 100-inch projector screen. So this is about the distance we're gonna need, and here's your clarity you're gonna get at this range. Now we can go from all the way from 40 inches up to 150 inches with this projector. Obviously, it's not a short throw, so to get to 100 inches, we had to get about 12 feet away. So this is something to keep in mind when you're gauging how far away you're gonna need to be for the screen size you want. But this does have automatic focus and auto-keystone adjustments, so it can do that stuff for you. However, it has not been very good. It gets it right about 15% of the time, maybe. Whether it's directly straight on or I'm off to the side and fire it up or start the auto-keystone and autofocus, it rarely gets it correct. I've tried it multiple times at short and long distance away from the screen. I've tried off to the side, and it still manages to get it mistaken. So it's a bit frustrating. However, there is a manual adjustment mode, so once it's done doing its processing, you can go in and adjust the screen size and the corners and focus if you'd like to manually. But it does have that feature. Whether it's my unit not wanting to cooperate or this is a glitch overall, I don't know. I can't say. That has just been my experience with this particular model. However, when you do have it lined up and focused, it's got a pretty good picture. We have a 330 ANSI lumens of brightness on this at a 1500:1 contrast ratio. So it's got pretty good color and brightness. We're rated at a 1080p, so that's HD video quality. But at this price range, it's pretty good. The colors are more saturated than I would have expected them to be at this distance and with that brightness level and only at 1080p. It's pretty clear when you're right up to, you are going to be able to see pixels within the image. However, sitting back at a distance when I'm sitting at the couch, which is right in front of the projector, so about 11 feet away, everything looks great. So this is what we got playing here. So you can see we got a good color range, decent contrast. The blacks are still kind of grayish. They're not going to be 100% black because we're not able to get that on this particular projector. However, for just a basic media room, for kids room, traveling, meetings, this is a great option for something like that. Now let's take a look at the home. So because this is a Roku certified projector, we have Roku built in. So anything that you would use on a typical Roku TV or Roku stick, it's going to be available here. Our remote, exact same remote. So we get all the same features. We have our quick buttons and everything just like you would expect it to have to get straight to Netflix, or we got Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, and Prime Video. All that's right there. We got our home page here. You can come in, check out all the apps, everything that you would expect to have if you've used a Roku TV or Roku stick or any Roku product previously. The experience is the same. You can use your Roku app to control the device, to make changes to it. It does have the headphone feature, so you can share the audio coming from the Roku projector through the phone into your headphones, so you can skip the sound system setup directly from the speaker itself, or if you're running a sound system through the projector using the HDMI CEC port, you can do that as well, or you can just opt to use your headphones using the app. So it's kind of cool. Everything we expect to have, it's all right there. Nothing out of the ordinary from a typical Roku TV. The only difference is when you jump into settings, like I'd mentioned, as far as being able to adjust your focus and things like that, we have autofocus, auto-keystone, and then you have your manual adjustments here as well. Orientation chooses where they're going to be putting it on shooting it from the front, if it's on a table, hanging from the ceiling, tabletop, or ceiling from the rear projection, because that is an option with this as well. So you have those features. Movement adjustments basically just means if you were to move, if the projector string gets moved or reoriented, it'll automatically trigger the autofocus and auto-keystone. So it's kind of nice. Picture settings. So if you have a device plugged into it, so right now my kids have their Nintendo Switch hooked up to this, you can go in and adjust the settings for each particular input if you would like. So that is an option. Input there as well. Audio. So because we have Dolby Atmos certified system here, you are going to be able to get those types of elements that you get out of a larger device that is Dolby Atmos certified, but you're getting this from your projector. Now, we're only talking about dual 5-watt speakers, so it's not going to be rattling the room, and it's not going to give you the most amazing Dolby Atmos experience, but it is there, and it does make a difference, and you have those adjustments here on how you want to change how that all operates. Adjust your home screen, set all that up, get it organized, set it up, customize it the way you like it. It's all there. This does have Apple and HomeKit's possibilities. However, you'll need to make sure you follow all the systems to get that set up and make sure it works correctly. And then you've got all of your options right there. So really great setup as far as getting into this and using it. Everything works like you would expect it to be. Roku's really done a good job over the years of fine-tuning all of their systems and their home screen and their interactions, and the apps all work wonderfully. I've had no issues as far as things glitching. The interface is the same, so I've been really happy with that. As far as the projector itself and the performance, it works really well. It is super quiet. The picture itself looks good. The audio, when it is playing, comes out of the speaker. It's surprisingly good. There have been times my kids been out here watching a show through the projector and didn't realize that they didn't have it connected to the surround sound system in here. You know, somebody with more discerning audio ability may figure that out quicker. However, they hadn't noticed it and they were completely fine just watching the TV show using the speakers inside of the projector itself. So you take that for what it is. Otherwise, it's been a really great system to use. I do wish that the Keystone adjustment and focus worked better. The focus does work okay. The focus is less of the issue. It's more the auto keystone adjustment, realizing that it's off angle or something like that and recognizing everything that's on the screen and correcting it. It uses the same process as most other auto correcting devices will use, where you'll see similar to like QR codes all over the screen. And then it uses that to help it guide and figure out where everything is and then shrink it to match the screen size that it's trying to project to. The previous projector I printed, the XGODY X6 Pro, did that as well, and it did it phenomenally. It never had, rarely, I can't say never, because it did have a few issues, one or twice. However, it was significantly more reliable as far as doing the auto keystone adjustments using that projector. But here's what you get out of this one. Image quality is pretty good. Can't be too upset about that. Yeah, pretty good projector so far. Let's wrap this thing up. Well, in the end, if you're looking for a good projector that you can put on to watch movies, hook up to play games, Nintendo Switch, whatever that might be, easy to get around, fully built-in system. That's all the certified apps that you would want to have on it. And it's a familiar system, one you can trust in something like Roku. So this is a good option for that. If you're not a Roku fan, you'd prefer a different operating system on it, something like the XGODY X6 Pro may be something you prefer because it is running Whale OS, but it has similar apps. It's got your Netflix and your Hulu and all those apps on it as well. So it's a different interface. The automatic keystone on it works better than it does on this particular unit. So if that's something you feel like this is gonna be when you're moving around, you really don't have to constantly have to make any adjustments if you're regularly moving it, then you may look at something like that. If it's something you're pretty much gonna set it up and leave it for the most part, this is a great option to consider. The sound is really good. The image quality is great. You have all the apps and everything you want. You get the familiar Roku system as well as a Roku remote. It all works great. So in the end, for the price, this is a pretty solid option to check out. I'll put all the links for everything down below. And if you have any questions or any comments or anything you'd like to see in the future, anything, areas you'd like to see more coverage on, please let me know. I'm open to making adjustments and making this channel work for the best for everybody. I look forward to it. If you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. It really helps out the channel. I appreciate all the help, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks for sticking around.